Hi caregivers, Susan Beamish here. I'm one of the group fitness instructors and personal trainers at the Employee Fitness Center. And I'm here to give you a few exercises and stretches to make your day a little more comfortable, especially if you spend a lot of time seated in a chair, as a lot of people who are working at computers tend to do. So people have told me that they get cold when they're sitting at their desk. So I'm going to do some warming up exercises that are really very easy and straightforward and don't require equipment or special places. It's just the back of your chair. And some stretches to alleviate stress and tension in the hands and upper back and the neck muscles, because we tend to be in this position typing, eating, driving, and so that forces the muscles to be in a position that they really shouldn't be in for prolonged periods of time. With this video, you don't have to do the whole thing all at once. You can pick and choose which pieces you would like to use that are the best for you. And I really highly recommend that you set a timer or make it so that you get up out of your chair once an hour, so that you're not sitting in one position for 2 and 3 hours at a time. That tends to lead to some blood pooling, and we know we don't want blood sitting around because it can coagulate, and that's not a good thing. So you want to make sure you get up out of your chair at least once an hour. All right, so here's what you're going to do to start. You're just going to come behind your chair, and this is just to give you a little bit of security, especially if you have balance issues, so that you can be close to something if you need to grab on. I'm just lightly touching the back of my chair, and I'm going to start with doing calf raises. So that's just coming up onto the top of the balls of my feet and back down. And just start doing this, lifting and lowering. And the circulatory system really relies on the calf muscles a lot. And so when you can get them moving, you can get blood moving quickly through the body. And then you may notice that you're breathing a little heavier. Your heart may feel like it's pounding a little harder. And that's very good. That just means everything is working to deliver oxygenated blood to the working muscles. And that's always good. You should be starting to feel the legs are getting warmer. And we're going to do 30. That was 20. And here's 25. You should be feeling this moving up the back of the leg now. And again, if 30 isn't enough, you can do more. Do more. There's 30. If 30 is too much, do less. Now shake out the legs. You should have felt that come up into the hamstring muscle groups. And you should definitely feel like, yeah, I'm a little bit warmer now. Our next movement is going to be a modified squat. So I'm opening my feet about the width of the chair, and I'm slightly turning the toes out. And when you did that, you should feel your buttocks grab. So you should feel some activation back there. All right, I'm just going to send my hips back, and I'm going to come up. And again, I'm just lightly resting. I'm not white knuckling the back of the chair. I'm just easily sitting or sending my hips back away from the chair. Nice and smooth. And notice my cadence is a little bit slower than you probably would do it. And that makes it a little bit more challenge as well. When you slow the cadence down, because the muscles have to work a little bit harder, controlling the descent and then pushing up. You don't have momentum helping you with the movement when you slow it down. I didn't count this entirely, but I think we're almost at 20. Now let's do one more and we'll call that 20. All right, now you should feel warmth here for sure. Those are the quads. And I want to just show you from the side what your squat looks like. My feet are slightly wider than that chair was and turned out. I'm going to sit back, so I drive back with my hips, and you notice My head and my tailbone, there's one long line from there. My knees are back of the toes, so I'm not in this position, I'm in this position. And as you get better and stronger, you would make it bigger, because anytime you increase the range of motion, it will increase the intensity of the movement. All right, so now you should feel like, oh yeah, I'm breathing a little heavier. I definitely feel warmer. And that was the goal. That's the idea of getting up out of the chair and doing some movement. So now you're a little warmer and your blood is moving through your body. All right, so let's do some stretches. But first, before we do that, I would like you to do a little exercise with me to give you the sense of where your shoulder blades should be on your body. As I said at the beginning, we tend to be very protracted. So these muscles get kind of concave and they shorten, and these muscles get long and weak because they are not supposed to be constantly stretching. They're supposed to be in their natural position, which for most of us, they're not anymore. All right, so here's what we do. You put one hand on top of your head, the other hand on top of that, and it's very light. I'm going to shrug my shoulders up towards my ears, to press down, pull my elbows back out of my peripheral vision, and then slowly bring the arms down by my side. Now that should feel like, wow, I have really stuck my chest out, or oh, that's a very almost artificial feeling, but that's where your shoulder blades should be. And when they're in the proper position, your chest is lifted, and so air can come into the lungs much more efficiently than if you're here. Even if you're scrunching down a little tiny bit, it will reduce your lung capacity because you've squashed down. So you want to be as lifted in the torso as you can be to allow for better air exchange. And again, that's what our brain needs. We need to have some good oxygen in there so we can do our work. All right, so that's where our shoulder blades should be. So we're sitting nice and tall and we're feeling very good. Let's start with some shoulder stretches. So what you'll do is just bring one arm across your chest, and this is going to stretch the rear deltoid. All right, and those muscle groups can get quite tired. And notice I'm pulling my arm across with my opposite hand. And I didn't allow my shoulder to come up toward the ear. I really am just bringing it directly across my body. And bring it down. And other side. Another thing to remember is that the rotator cuff group is not, it's a group of muscles. It's not one muscle. Rotator cuff is not a muscle. It's a group of muscles. We start with infraspinatus, which means below, supraspinatus, which means above, subscapularis, which is below the shoulder blade, and teres minor. And that's the group. Now that should feel kind of nice. You've put some length on those posterior deltoid muscles. All right, let's take our hands and just put them through the chair. Now from the side, that's what it would look like. And then just squeeze your shoulder blades together. Ooh. And so when I did that, I felt a lot of pull through my chest muscles and into my bicep muscle. And release. And pull. Oh, that should feel really good. And then gently release. So when I was pulling back, I definitely felt it through the bicep area. All right, let's just do a little bit of wrist rotation. Because if you're typing all the time, your hands are probably, well, of course, they'll get fatigued. So let's give them a little bit of a break here. Take one hand and gently pull the forearm. Pull the hand to feel the stretch in the forearm. And then just other side, gently pull, feel that nice stretch. Release, just open and close, open and close, open, close, and roll again. You might hear some clicking. It's just some air coming out of your joints. Shake it. All right. I'd like you to open the legs. You can push your, so you can see me, I'll come back. And I'm going to rest my elbows on my thigh muscles. I'm going to drop one of my shoulders in toward the floor. And I've also got a little rotation there, so I'm feeling this in my back, and now I'm slowly going to turn my head and look away. Now, if you push with this elbow, you should feel a little bit of a stretch in your inner thigh. So there's a lot of stretching that's going on with this particular movement. Slowly bring the head back, release very gently, and stack yourself back up. Roll the shoulders. Slowly fold forward. Drop the other shoulder in toward the floor. You're feeling a stretch already. Slowly turn and look away from the floor. Come on back to the center. And very slowly start to stack back up. All right, I'll come a little bit closer to you so you can see exactly what I'm going to be doing. Okay, I'm going to move my arms out of the way. All right, I'm sitting nice and tall, and I'm going to do a neck stretch. So I've taken my hand under the seat and I'm pulling up. And as I do that, I'm just gently pulling my head away from that. So now I'm feeling a very significant stretch through the scalenes or the neck muscles. Now gently walk your fingertips toward the back of your head and gently, not a lot of pressure here, press away on an angle. Release the hands. Beautiful. Now try not to tip the whole body and lift the hip up. You want to stay not glued to your seat, but you want to maintain your connection to the seat of the chair. So I'm going to pull up the arm, gently tip the head away, maintaining this lifting action on the opposite arm, the long arm. Walk the fingertips back gently. Press forward. Release the hands. And just roll the shoulders. Now, we'll finish with a release of the upper back. So I'm going to drop my head in. I've crisscrossed my hands. Gently push the hands away, or pretend that someone is in front of you, pulling your fingers away, and then release. So you're really spreading the shoulder blades apart. And let's do that one more time. And bring the hands down. Stack up. And I hope you can use this, and I hope you use it every day, every hour of the day, to help make your body feel warmer and nicely stretched. Hope to see you guys all in the fitness center when we get back to it. Bye for now. Have a great day.